Nothing like waking up at 6 a.m. for this. Oh, this one's gonna be awful. Hopefully that means we test negative and we get to go to the Galapagos in a few days.
Fingers crossed. And now we are leaving the Amazon back to the city.
Sad. Well, actually it's really humid here, so it might be kind of nice to get out of this for a little bit.
Have some service.
And have some service. Separate rows. We're 2.5 hours into our 6-hour drive going towards the middle of the world.
The middle of the world is on the equator. There is a huge waterfall at the gas station we stopped at to go to the bathroom. It is beautiful out here in the jungle. Back on the bus.
We stopped by the side of the road to get a good view of this lagoon, but it's pretty cold outside, so I'm gonna get back on the bus. We just made it to the middle of the world.
Woo! It's very sunny at the middle of the world. Oh my gosh, I seriously cannot open my eyes. Welcome. Thank you. Welcome. I am seriously struggling to open my eyes right now. We are so close to the sun and it's noon, so it's just prime time. So I'm barely doing it. All right, so we're gonna try to balance an egg on a nail because you're supposed to be able to do that when you are on the equator. You have to have one foot in each hemisphere.
The equator is right below us, so we're gonna try to balance this egg on a nail.
Oh, it's really windy.
The wind just keeps blowing it over. We did it!
There's lots of spilled egg in here. Crossing the equator.
We're in 2 different hemispheres.
Wow, there's so much distance between us. This is so cool.
It cost $5 to get in here. It looks like there's a lot to do. We kind of just got inside, so we're exploring the grounds, seeing what's around. And our tripod just broke. Guess we'll have to visit a hardware store. There's the north and there's the south. The steps leading up to the monument are so cool because they have the equator directly on them all the way up.
So we started in the southern hemisphere, now we're in the northern hemisphere, and right behind us here we have a dormant volcano that I don't remember the name of, but it hasn't gone off in 2,200 years, so we're chilling. And then over there is the middle of the world monument.
Since we're standing at the equator, we're a lot closer to the sun than we ever have been in our entire lives. I don't think there's anything really to do over there. I think they're all just waiting in line to take a picture. But we're taking pictures over here.
It is super sunny outside, but somehow it's sprinkling. I don't understand the equator.
I think we found what the line was for. There's people all the way at the top.
This is west, or if you speak Spanish, it's something that starts with O. Apparently, when you are standing on the equator, you lose 1 kilo. So we are supposed to be 1 kilo lighter than we normally are when we're here. I don't know the science behind that, but I guess it's true.
Do you feel any different?
Yeah, feel a little skinnier, especially since we skipped lunch.
I saw somebody else climb up these stairs to take a picture, so I think I'm gonna do it too. Oh, it says high risk of accidents. It doesn't say don't climb. When I got up to that sign, I was pretty sure it was going to tell me to get off, but I guess in Ecuador, they don't really tell you to not do stuff. They just say you might fall and die. When your tripod breaks and you have to use your camera as a tripod.
I think this is my favorite spot in the entire place because you have a view of this beautiful volcano and the center of the world monument. The equator basically means you're at 0 degrees latitude.
Looks like we found a sundial, and it has all of the numbers around it. And when the sun shines through, it shows the time. So I don't know if you can tell. Oh, it kind of just vanished. It was showing a big 2 right here. And I guess if it's closer to the line, it means it's that exact time, which makes sense because it's like about 2:30. Just in case you didn't know, the equator is in a lot more countries than just Ecuador, but I guess Ecuador is one of the only ones that has a monument quite like this.
It was because like the scientists decided something like this was the best place to study the equator because of the mountains, something along those lines. So that's why this one's more famous than the other ones.
And we're walking past all the statues of the scientists that were here studying it. Now we're gonna head into the capital city of Quito to have a look around there.
We are walking around Old Town Quito now.
Since we were in Old Town Quito, they wanted to preserve a lot of the buildings, and so many of the places became UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which means they're not allowed to touch the buildings or repair them in any way. So that's why it may look like that they are somewhat run down, but it's just because they're not allowed to touch them.
Here is another Catholic church. There's also like 3 behind me. We decided not to go into these ones since we went into a lot in Peru. So if you really like cathedrals, you could go check out our Peru videos. But for now, we're just gonna walk around Old Town and see what else there is. We are walking up on the main square. This building behind me is where the president lives. All the other presidents never used to live there, but this one upgraded it and so that he could live there.
Right in the middle of the city square is this really cool sculpture. We just got it explained to us. The lion right here on the bottom represents the Spaniards. The Spaniards came here hundreds of years ago to kind of take over the area, and then the condor right here is breaking the chain of the Spaniards from them, and that represents the indigenous people. They are now free from the Spaniards. And then all the way at the top is going to be a lady with a flame that represents their liberty that they have. We just learned a little bit more of the history of Ecuador. They used to be one country, Gran Colombia, with Ecuador, Colombia, and Venezuela. And then they decided to split up into individual countries. And then after that, there was one more war with Peru, and then Ecuador actually won that war, and then they signed a treaty after that.
This church way over here is the Basilica. All of these big government, I don't know, like cathedrals, I guess, and important buildings all used to have underground tunnels connecting them where you could go to different places. They closed them now because of security for the president and the city hall.
Before this became a cathedral, this entire square used to be an indigenous market where they would have fruits and vegetables and live animals to sell. I just think it's crazy how big it is, and now it's just used as a place to just kind of walk around and hang out. The thunder is a rumbling. I feel like it's about to start pouring on us.